Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're diving into this incredible case study in strategy. It's all about how one guy's very specific, very unique resume was perfectly engineered to change the entire course of human history.
So, let's just jump right into this puzzle, right? I mean, how did this tiny, pretty much unknown sect from a backwater province blow up into a global faith that went toe-to-toe with the Roman Empire? From a purely strategic view, it looks impossible. But it turns out, the whole thing hinges on one person, and honestly, he's the last person you'd expect.
Yeah, the guy who cracked the code wasn't one of the original 12. Nope. In fact, he started out as their worst nightmare, the man who was literally hunting them down. His name? Saul of Tarsus, who we now know as the Apostle Paul. He was, for all intents and purposes, the mission's secret weapon.
I mean, look at this. To really get why he was such a game changer, you just have to put his resume side by side with the original disciples. You've got Galilean fishermen on one side, and on the other, Paul, a true citizen of the world. They spoke the local dialect. He was fluent in the languages of power and philosophy. They were subjects of Rome. He was a citizen of Rome. It's night and day. His entire background was tailor-made for a global mission.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit more. Let's really get into his toolkit, if you will. We're going to look at these key advantages that basically gave him a golden ticket and all-access pass to the entire Roman world.
You really can't overstate how huge this was. Roman citizenship? It wasn't just a passport. Think of it more like a legal superpower, a shield. In an empire where basically everyone else was just a subject, having this status was incredibly rare, super valuable, and gave you protections that most people could only dream of.
And man, did he know how to use it. Here he is, about to get illegally flogged, and he just calmly asks this question. You can just imagine the panic in the room. For his captors, this was terrifying. It was like he had a legal get-out-of-jail-free card, a reset button he could hit to stop abuse dead in its tracks.
So here's the magic, right? It's not any one of these things, it's the combination. This guy could walk into a synagogue and debate the finest points of Jewish law with the best of them because he was trained by the best. Then he could walk right out of there into a Roman court and demand his rights as a citizen. He could code switch between these worlds effortlessly, navigating every single level of society. It's an absolutely incredible skill set.
But, having a killer resume is one thing. Actually using it is another. And this is where Paul goes from being a guy with a lot of potential to a brilliant strategist. We see him put these tools to work everywhere, from the dusty marketplace to the philosophical lecture halls.
Okay, first up, his day job. He was a trained tent maker. Now, this wasn't just a way to pay the bills. By setting up his workshop right in the middle of the city marketplace, the Agora, he was plugging himself directly into the heart of urban life. He's working, he's talking to people, building relationships with everyday folks, and sharing his message in the supernatural, non-confrontational way. It's genius.
But what happens when the door gets slammed in your face? Because it did. In Ephesus, he's doing his thing in the synagogue for about 3 months, and then they've had enough. They turn on him, shut him down. Now, most people would probably pack up and move to the next town, but not Paul. He didn't retreat, he pivoted.
And this move is it's brilliant. He leaves the religious setting and rents a neutral, secular lecture hall. But get this, the best info we have says he taught from 11 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. You know what everyone else is doing then? It's the siesta, the hottest part of the day. So he's working his trade in the morning, and then while the whole city's asleep, he's teaching. This little school becomes this incredible training hub, and all the people coming into the city for business learn from him and then take that message back home, spreading it across the entire province. He literally multiplied his impact.
All right, now we get to see all these pieces, the citizenship, the legal knowledge, the sheer nerve, come together for his final, most audacious move. This is the checkmate. He's about to make the Roman Empire itself pay for his ticket to the capital.
So here's how it goes down. He gets arrested in Jerusalem. He knows he's stuck in a corrupt local system with no chance of a fair trial. So what does he do? He pulls out his ultimate trump card. I appeal to Caesar! And just like that, game over. From that moment, the Roman Empire is legally on the hook to ship him all the way to Rome with a military escort, all on their dime.
And when he gets to Rome, they don't just toss him in some dark, filthy dungeon. No, his citizenship gets him the privilege of house arrest. But here's the masterstroke, the real genius of it. He's changed to a soldier, not just any soldier. A new member of the Praetorian Guard, the emperor's personal elite bodyguards, rotates in every 6 hours. He had a literal captive audience of the most connected men in the empire. His prison just became his most effective pulpit.
And you might be thinking, did this actually work? Well, listen to this. This is a line from a letter he wrote while under that house arrest. He says, "Greetings, especially from those who belong to Caesar's household." I mean, there it is, mission accomplished. The message had made it inside the palace walls, to the very heart of the empire.
So, when you look back, what's the real, lasting impact of this one man's incredibly strategic life? It's more than just spreading a message. It was about building an entire framework, a structure that could survive not only him, but the Roman Empire itself. And this is such a crucial distinction to make. Think of the original disciples as the key witnesses. Their job was to say, "We were there. We saw it happen." Their testimony was absolutely essential. But Paul was the architect. He took the raw events they witnessed and built them into a coherent global theology that could be understood by anyone, anywhere.
And how did he do that? Through his letters. His 13 epistles in the New Testament are basically the user manuals for Christianity. He lays out the foundational beliefs, he writes letters of encouragement from prison, he even creates leadership training guides for new churches. He's the one who defined the core concepts and provided the intellectual blueprint that allowed this movement to scale globally.
But here's the final, incredible paradox of it all. This man, whose entire mission was made possible by his elite status, his Roman citizenship, his top-tier education, what did he think of all that stuff personally? He said he considered it all rubbish. And the Greek word he uses there, skubbalon, is way stronger. It's like dung or garbage. He's saying that God used every single one of his worldly advantages, even though he himself saw them as completely worthless compared to the mission he was on.
And that really leaves us with a question to chew on, doesn't it? Paul's life seems to suggest that maybe the unique combination of our skills, our backgrounds, our privileges, maybe it isn't all just random. So the question for you and me is, what's in your toolkit? What's on your resume that might be designed for a purpose you haven't even considered yet?
Thanks for watching. Visit our website, www.christthelivingtruth.com, to learn more.